Hi, I'm Shanieri Farr Douglas, social media manager at Channel Factory, and this is our monthly employee spotlight. This month, we're highlighting Hispanic Heritage Month, and also in honor of Hispanic Heritage Month, we are speaking with Daniela, who is an amazing staffer. We want to highlight her talent and everything she brings to the table at Channel Factory and how she keeps us alive. Please introduce yourself, Daniela.
You. Well, my name is Daniela Mariot. I am the lead recruiter here at Channel Factory, and I've been here for almost a year thus far.
Cool, awesome. Daniela, side note, actually recruited me and she's got me here. So I love you, Daniela. um, so since we mentioned Hispanic Heritage Month, what does it mean to you?
It's such a good question because it honestly means and symbolizes so much to me. So for Hispanic and Latinx History Month, it really symbolizes just a genuine celebration, a genuine recognition, and just overall, like just a deep appreciation for not only our culture, not only, our amazing food, our language, but above all else, our people and our diversity. So I feel like when it comes to this particular month, it means so much to not only myself, but so many other people in this community as well, too.
Wonderful. Can you tell us about a moment in Hispanic history that influenced or shaped your career, life, or that particularly resonates with you?
Yeah, this is a really good question. I don't know if it was a particular moment in history, but thinking about this, I automatically think about my parents and my family. So, my parents are two immigrants that came to the U.S. To pursue, their education, pursue a life for themselves, and they really went through a lot of adversity, a lot of struggle to get to where they are, to really be able to be taken seriously as professionals in the space that they were in. I mean, they were in education, but thinking about their struggles, thinking about how their struggles aren't necessarily uncommon to people of my culture or just people of color in general. And thinking about where I am at sitting too, as well as a recruiter, I find that I'm in a really unique position where I can really think about and really analyze, what are we doing as a community or just within, this workspace and workforce where we can really just focus on creating those opportunities for, all people, really even out the playing field, so to speak, and making sure that, all individuals are considered because, that they're skilled and they're working just as hard overall. So I feel like that's taking all of that is really and taking all of that into consideration is really a big factor as to why I do what I do.
Yeah, I mean, that beautifully put. I think that it's always important to honor not only our parents, but our ancestors and those that came before us. Honestly, paving the way and making opportunity where opportunity probably wasn't available for us. Um,
Exactly. And
um,
really pushing through those boundaries overall.
yes, just knowing that this is what I deserve, this is what my family deserves, a better life and, you know, a new experiences. It's not even like better, but just something new, introducing our generation or our DNA to something new. Um,
Absolutely. And just being able to live out those passions as well too. Everyone has a driving force behind them. And I think that should be celebrated and honored and respected overall for all communities. So definitely.
yeah, totally. I completely agree. So piggybacking off of like paving the way, your parents paving the way, what got you like, can you speak about your intro into becoming a recruiter or like your past experiences?
Yeah. So it's kind of funny. I actually fell into recruitment, which I feel like if you're a recruiter, you also might have a similar story because a lot of people don't even know what recruitment is even before you get into this workforce. It's usually after the fact, right? So, I actually, in college studied psychology and I studied art overall. So, getting into this space and in the recruitment space, I, really fell into it and fell in love with it because I got to marry those two skills or, two things that I really enjoyed, which is understanding people, really getting to know people, and then, really following that pursuit in terms of some of the creative aspects as well, too. So even when I first started, oh my gosh, I've been in the recruitment game for almost 7 years. It's been almost my
Wow.
whole entire career. So it's kind of crazy, but it's been a wonderful ride thus far. And I think that's the biggest motivator for me is being able to speak to so many different individuals. That's the blessing of, being a recruiter is that you get to speak to so many different people from all walks of life and really understanding, what their goals are and what their passions are. So I think, being in that space overall and really understanding, where do you want to grow? Where do you want to, take your career or your life for that matter, is a huge motivator for me. And also kind of being that like professional matchmaker overall as well too. So making sure that individuals that are applying to these positions are, feeling like this is truly the right fit for me and making sure that they're in a place where, their voices can be heard overall.
I love that. Um, are you still with me? Okay, great. My started to freeze. I started to freak out for a second. Great. I mean, that is, what did you call it? A career matchmaker?
It's like, it honestly is. It's being a career matchmaker, so to speak, or a professional matchmaker in a professional sense overall, because that's really what it is. I mean, you think about your job and what you do on a day to day, you're spending a majority of the time with your work. So,
Mhm.
and a lot of that involves the people that you work with as well too. So it really has to be a right fit. It has to be, great chemistry there and just a space where you can feel like you are growing and your voice is being heard and you're being able to contribute to, whatever work that you do.
Yeah, you should definitely put that in your LinkedIn bio.
Right? I've been
Matchmaker,
thinking
career
about it.
matchmaker. That's so, I love that. Great title. Okay, so beyond matchmaker, what are like three adjectives you would use to describe yourself?
That is good. It's so funny because I ask this question to people all the time. So when I'm asked it, I'm like, wow, this is a lot harder than you think. But, thinking about it, I would say persistent. I'm definitely someone that is, I keep going. I would also say compassionate, and then positive. I'd like to, I'd like to say I'm on the positive side overall. It's still an active skill that I'm, I'm looking at continuing to learn and gain, but I would say those three for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely positivity is something that like can definitely be like overused, like
Yeah,
stay positive, but like we also have to be real.
yeah,
But I think that it's about like shifting perspectives, like as opposed to like seeing the bad, try and find the good, try and find the
exactly. Really being
gratitude.
on the optimistic side of that spectrum, and that's something that I've learned as I go to really lean towards that side and just think, it's all going to work out in the end. That's literally what I say in my
Period.
head. Even when things are crazy and chaotic, I just repeat those words in the back of my head like it's all going to work out in the end. It always
Yes.
so
Hmm. There's a
definitely.
solution for every problem.
Yes,
Hmm.
absolutely. And if there's no solution, that's the solution for the time being and you just keep going.
Right.
Just
Here
keep
we go.
going.
Okay, so before working at Channel Factory, what was one of like the most unusual jobs you worked? Clearly, you're great at recruiting. Do you have
Thank you.
anything like wild that like no one would ever see Daniela doing?
Yeah, this is a great question because I do have a really good one. So this was back in college. of course. And as you know, working in college, you're really trying to do anything in your power to eat anything other than ramen noodles every day. And don't get me wrong, I love ramen. But you gotta keep working. So I'm sure they have this in other locations, but if you're from New York and you know Macy's on Herald Square, one holiday season I did work at Santaland as an elf.
Oh my gosh, you were probably the cutest elf.
Fully
Oh.
dressed, full getup and everything. And we had names. I don't know if I should share the name because I don't want emails later on saying, hey.
Okay, you don't have to. That's undisclosed.
But
We don't
it,
have to
it
know.
literally it was one of those jobs where you're just like, all right, I'm gonna take it. We gotta keep going and stuff. But it was at the end of the day, it was great. I mean, I got to see a ton of kids, make them
Mhm,
smile and stuff like
mhm.
that. So, don't no
Good
regrets there.
energy.
But I would say that's the oddest job I definitely had.
That was like so unexpected. That is so funny. Oh my gosh. Did they let you keep the outfit?
No, no, you had to return the outfit. But let's see, maybe like kept like a little bell or something.
Hmm.
I don't know. But usually they take those back.
I love that. Okay, so if you could switch a job, okay, back to Channel Factory. If
Mhm.
you could switch a job with anyone at Channel Factory, who would it be? Or is there anyone that you truly admire in at Channel Factory?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I would change or switch because I know for a fact I'll be wildly like unqualified for any other position. And I respect everyone and what they do on a day to day because the
Yeah.
grind is real and everyone works super, super hard.
Mhm.
So I don't know if I'll switch with anyone, but I do admire a ton of people at
Mhm.
Channel Factory. Honestly, everyone. Like
Yeah.
everyone puts in so much hard work. I respect everyone for what they do because at the end of the day, everyone brings their full selves to work. Whether they think they do or not, you're bringing your full self to work every day and grinding and hustling and working really hard. So I honestly admire everyone
Mhm.
that works here for sure.
Wonderful. What's like your favorite part about working at Channel Factory?
So good. I mean, for me, on a general sense, I would say the people. Like I love everyone. They are so amazing. I don't know how we do it, but we just find the best people and I'm not being biased. But we really do find amazing people, getting to know everyone. Everyone's so genuine and fun. It's just fun, like great to be around. That is probably, my favorite thing about, working here. But on a task and day-to-day side,
Mm.
I would say, honestly getting to know people and talking to so many different people on a day to day. For me, I have the opportunity to talk to folks in a really almost intimate time in their life, whether they're, looking to switch a job, whether they lost their job and they're looking for a new one. I'm talking to people who are really passionate about what they do and seeing the kind of the spark in their eye and, just that light that comes to them whenever they do speak about, what they want to do with their lives, when they're talking about their future. That is amazing to me. And I feel like it's such an intimate moment. Not normally you're not really talking about, your passions or what have you, or, your goals for the future and, regular conversation or even with a complete stranger. But, I'm blessed to be in that space because, in the setting that I'm in, I get to ask those questions. So, a lot of folks want to pursue their passions for themselves or pursue their passions for their family. That plays a huge part on their day to day and their goals. So being a part of those conversations, really, having that one-on-one time with folks and really understanding, what motivates you, what gets you up in the morning is something that's incredible, just incredible. And I'm really lucky to be in that space.
Yeah, I mean, you are so easy to talk to. I feel like, career transitions are, it's a place of vulnerability. And I think that the recruiter is the first step to like understanding what the company is all about. And you bring such a great sense of balance, clarity, stability, and you represent Channel Factories so well and so eloquently.
Thank you.
And you can tell that you really are people oriented and, you are passionate about finding the right people for the right places. It's great.
Absolutely. I think it's so important. And, we forget in day-to-day life, you're grinding, you're hustling, you're working. At the end of the day, you're working with people, with human beings, that
Mhm.
have their own stories, and they deserve a space to come to where they feel comfortable in expressing themselves. And that
Mhm.
just basic form. Like, I want people to come to me and feel comfortable, like, hey, I just need someone to talk to kind of approach, because there's not enough of that in this world. And I think, we can create a better space just coming with that kind of, approach. And, I just want to talk to you as a human to human.
Yes, yes, I love that. Human to human. Um, so we know that, people and just being that safe space for people to land keeps you motivated at work. But what keeps you motivated or excites you outside of work?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of things. I'm such a like family person, so I'm
Yeah.
always surrounded by family, by my loved ones, by friends, overall by my dog, overall. But I try to stay as creative as possible. So I'm a
Mhm.
creative at heart myself. So, really exercising that creativity, whether I'm painting or drawing or, putting together a really mean mood board for like interior design. Like I love, being in that creative space overall. And, I'm someone that's always on go, go, go mode. So I don't know how I keep motivated overall. It's probably my parents in the back of my head just saying, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Mhm.
But for any of those days where I do feel kind of gassed out and done, coffee at the end of the day.
I know.
Anything with coffee and a really good playlist. So when,
Yes.
if all else fails, there's always that.
Period. Yes. And also dance breaks. If you put on a good
Thank you.
playlist, stand up and shake a leg.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, it definitely helps. Getting the
Hmm.
body moving, listening to really, that really good music, anything that'll really get you up and going for the day. And of course, the genre will change depending on the mood. So,
Hey, I love it. Yes. Great, great advice. So, like, what's a personal mantra that you live by? You seem so self-aware and so present.
thank you.
What do you live by?
Honestly, I would say, and it's as simple as be kind and do good anyway. And
Mm,
heavy on the anyway, because
mm,
there's going to be life situations, people that are really going to just test you, push those buttons. But and I think I get this from my grandmother, my abuelita specifically, someone who's so selfless and so positive and
mm,
someone that just did good no matter what. I think that resonated with me, resonated with my parents, and that's how they raised, us as well too, is just to do good anyway. Because at the end of the day, whether, someone else is having a bad day or just an unfortunate situation happens overall, you have to know within yourself, you did everything you could. You were positive and kind on your end. And that's what's most important because that's what you take home at the end of the day
yes.
overall. So I would say be kind and do good anyway.
I love that. Hashtagging that today. For today, for the rest of the week, that was so it's right. I mean, if you lead with I guess like just heart forward, if you lead with your morals forward and you're grounded in those, you don't have any regrets, honestly.
Exactly.
You don't live a
And
life of
that's, no
regret.
one can take anything away from you. And I think that is where you can really stand in your power. And
Yes.
that's where I
Yes.
feel like I stand in my power. I'm going to be kind anyway.
Hmm.
Even if people, want to take advantage of you, if they want to be cruel or what have you, you be kind anyway. Because it's not about them, it's about you and how you feel and how you kind of can lay down and put your head on the pillow at the end of the
Yes. Period. We're gonna end on
day.
that. Okay. Yes. Be kind. Do good anyway. Is there anything else you want your coworkers to know about you, Daniela?
I would say I'm here. I'm always here if you need someone to talk to, if you need someone to just, chat with. At the end of the day, you've had a hard day and you need someone to come to my, virtual door is always open overall. And I'm here for you guys. I do it for you. So I'm always here.